Hi again, it's James, Roxanne,
Hello.
James. Hi. We love to sit and chat about some of the different things that make a difference when you're going through the challenging opportunity of building your own business. And when it comes to doTERRA, there's just such a great vehicle. And part of that we're going to talk about today. And Roxanne and I are going to just talk to you for just a moment about some small and simple things. First, I want to tell you a story. So, there was a gentleman. He'd lived a long and fruitful life, wise man, accomplished a lot of things, had two sons. He was dying. He was at the end of his journey in this life and was basically on his deathbed, and called them to him and told them that he wanted to give them some gifts. And there were three different gifts, okay? And I'm not really going to go into all three, but basically I'm going to talk about the third gift, which was something, he kind of gave them a little riddle. But the third gift was something that can't be given, but that can be gotten, basically. It can be obtained. So it can't be given, but it can be obtained. And what he did was he told them that you have a choice. Tomorrow, when you come back, I'm going to have my assistant give you two boxes, right? And in these two boxes, you're going to find two things, right? And you're going to have a choice, between what you see in those two boxes. One box, when they opened them, had $1 million in it, okay? The other had a penny in it. And what he did was he said, what I want you to do is take and take those two things, and I'm going to give you 30 days. And I want you to take those things in 30 days and see what you do with them, right? What can you do with the penny or the $1 million? So each of you will be able to choose either the penny or the $1 million. So the two sons, he told them that's what it was going to be, and he told them to go and think about it overnight, which one they were going to choose. Well, one of the sons knew instantly in his mind which one he was going to choose. The other one wasn't sure. So they went and slept overnight and started thinking about it. Well, one of the sons knew right away he was going to take the $1 million. So overnight, he didn't waste time thinking about it. He started thinking about how he was going to take that $1 million and how he was going to turn it into, a gazillion dollars. And so he started thinking about his plan, and he started contacting people to amass a team of people that would help him and advise him, because he had $1 million. He could hire some folks, right? The other son thought all night, contemplated, meditated, did some prayer or whatever, and they all came back the next day. The one son said, I want the $1 million, and he was off. The second son said, I'll take the penny. The other son said, are you crazy? Take the $1 million. What are you thinking? You just want the penny? What are you going to do with that? Well, what he didn't understand was that the father said, son, for the one of you who takes the penny, every day you'll come back and my assistant will give you, so the next day he'll come back and he'll give you 2 pennies. And every day he will give you double what you had the day before, right? And so the other son was like, oh, in 30 days, I'm going to totally blow out anything that he could earn with a penny, right? Starting with a penny. So he went back, got his team together, hired all these geniuses on investing and making, your money into more stuff, right? We should do that.
Stuff.
Yeah. We should. Who can give us $1 million? Or maybe we would take the penny. I don't know.
I
Let's see.
hope we take the penny.
So we go ahead and get all these guys together. They rent some rooms in this hotel, and they got 2 or 3 rooms together, and they're all computing and calling and looking and watching the markets and how to invest. And they make some investments after they came up with a plan. So the son's feeling really great. It takes off and starts to go. The other son's just every day coming back and getting, his penny, and then the next day he gets 2 more pennies, and the next day he gets 4 pennies, and every day it doubles, right? And this is over a 30-day period. About halfway through that 30-day period, the other son's going, oh, this is looking good. Things are going well. I mean, we're making progress in our plan, and my guys are totally on it. Goes to the other son just to see how he's doing and says, oh, man, how are you doing? I'm so excited about the plan that I've got, and this is what I've got going. How's it going for you? And he said, well, it's been about 15 days. I think I have, $300 or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember the exact number, but it was just a few $100s that he had. And his other said, hey, it's not too late. Our father is such a nice man. If you go back to him, I'm sure that he would let you take the million and go with, because we still have 15 days left. You could do a lot. We can invest for you and stuff as well. He says, no, I think I'll stick with the penny program. So the other son went back, and when he went back, he talked to his advisors, and they said, well, we have some good news and some bad news. The good news is that we've made some money. We didn't, but the bad news is the market's changed and shifted a little bit, and we didn't make as much as we want. So our really risky ones, they kind of tanked. Our safe ones, they progressed a little bit. So we've turned it into about 1.6 or something like that. But when they looked at all of the expenses that he had incurred up to that point, it ate up most of it. So basically, he only had about $200,000 over the $1 million that he had started with. He's like, well, we got 15 more days. Let's make this up. So he charges forward with it. And unfortunately, things did not improve. And by the end of that 30 days, he had spent not only any excess that he had made beyond that $1 million, but he had lost a bunch of the initial $1 million after he again had to pay out all the expenses that he had in hiring this team and all the things there. So he was very curious to see how he went. And this was about 2 days before the 30th day. And he went back to see his brother. And his brother was ecstatic because his few $100s had turned into around $1 million or just over $1 million by this point. And the other brother was pulling his hair out going, oh my gosh, how can this be? It was just a penny to begin with. But he didn't understand a certain principle that over the next 2 days changed that second son's fortune into over $10 million from a penny, compounded over 30 days. One small penny doubled each day over time. It's called compound interest, or compounding, or compound interest. Basically, doubled every day over a period of 30 days, turns into over $10 million. So which would you pick? The penny or the $1 million? The lovely Roxanne here is going to talk to you about the principle and how that applies to you and what you're doing with doTERRA as a business.
So obviously, I love that story. The son who picked the penny had foresight, right? He did small and simple things every day. And that's the concept that we're working towards here, is this understanding that when you do something every day consistently, even if it's not a huge thing like $1 million, you create huge effects and huge changes in the end. And so one way to really see this in your business is by using the success habits. If you haven't seen these, they are in the Success Training Guide, and it's on page 15. I love those success habits because they focus on things like using your product daily. It's funny that I have to say that, but it's kind of silly. There are some people who think they can actually share doTERRA without using the oils. I have no idea where they're going with that.
Or without using them often.
But yes, using them often, or understanding them and really using them in their life, right? So that's a huge part. Your personal development piece is reading books or listening to audios like The Slight Edge or Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire. I mean, there's a whole ton of books out there many of us love. And
The Slight Edge is a key one, and that's where I got that story about, and that this concept of small and simple things over time.
Is powerful. You also have, daily contacts, right? When that becomes something you're doing every day and you're connecting with people every day and sharing, then you can't help but create a huge business over time. But if you're only doing that once every, few weeks, or when you feel a crunch or whatever, then you're not creating something that's going to carry you to a successful doTERRA business in the end. The success habits also have weekly habits like giving 2 presentations, that could be one-on-ones or classes, and then learning through the wellness education, which is on My Do Pro. Engage in your team call if you have one, and if you don't, check out the power calls. Receive mentoring or strategy sessions. Some of us have different names for that, but basically you're checking in with your upline and having some sort of contact. Mentor with your leaders. That's the other way around, right? You're doing sessions or strategy sessions for them and helping them to be focused and continue on with their success habits. And then monthly, you're doing your order, your LRP of 125, and you're engaging in some sort of monthly training, which hopefully is in your area. If not, check out the one that would be taped or available on probably my DoPro from another area. And then use the strategic planner, which is basically helping you plan for your month. And then annually, we all want to go to attend any other trainings that are available. So convention, spring retreat, once you achieve the rank that's required to go there. And enjoy the incentive trip generally in January. So these are all the things that you want to do on a daily basis to create that end result that is phenomenal. And we call these the success habits. Can you think about why?
Yeah, I mean, again, looking at things that we do on a daily basis, the principle of the Slide Edge one of the things I love is that compound interest, but also the simple things are super easy to do. But guess what? They're also
Easy not to do.
easy not to do. So, the one little thing that you do isn't going to turn you that day into something, on the negative side or the positive side. But over time, those things can make a huge difference. It's like the story of an airplane, right? That 2 degrees off of its course over a 30-minute period took it, 28 miles or so out of its target. That tragic story about an airplane that hit a mountain because and these were experienced pilots, right? They were 2 degrees off course and nobody really seemed to notice. Just a little thing, right? But over time, as that 30 or minutes or an hour went by, they found themselves in front of a mountain before it was too late to pull up, and they crashed, right? So that's a tragic story, but we could all be facing a tragic story in our own life because it's easy not to do these small little things. It's really easy to do them as well. So you got a choice. Do you take the penny, or do you always look for the $1 million? Take the penny, do the small things. The success habits, those are small things. They're not hard to do. They can be done by anyone. If you do them, you'll find that at the 30th day, whenever that is, figuratively in your scheme, your distance of the winning the race of the business, right, or whatever, in that time period that as you build your business, one day you're going to wake up and there's $10 million of achievement, right? It's not that you're going to have $10 million. It just helps you understand the concept of those success habits. One day, as you've done them consistently, consistency is important, and you've done them day after day and week after week and month after month, all of a sudden you've achieved something extraordinary. It seems like all of a sudden, but in the reality is
You did it every day.
You did it every day. Yep. So do that every day. Success habits.
Thanks.